This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, here we are, January the 28th, 2022. Very cold here. And the fella I have talking to tonight, one of his recent opponents didn't even know that there was a time zone ahead of them here in Atlantic Canada. And in fact, this is where I guess it was in Moncton, New Brunswick. Her dad and Bret Hart had planned WrestleMania 8. They had that in the book. Well, folks, I have somebody I discovered through that person, and I've come to really like watching what he's been doing. Actually, he's a very entertaining guy. Folks, I give you an awesome wrestling personality and wrestler. Folks, I give you Mr. Jerry Swirlz. How you do, Jerry?
I'm doing good, Greg. How are you? As you can see right now, I'm at the Atomic Wrestling Catchworks Wrestling Academy, located at the Self-Made Training Facility in Castleberry, Orlando, Florida. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but needless to say, I just got done doing a Sabu Q&A seminar. We also went out to Ale House for dinner early on. So I'm just I'm a little spent. I'm a little sore. So I'm in the mood for questions, as a matter of fact, of my own. So how fitting is that? And I like that little intro that you gave. That was pretty awesome. How you narrowed it down to segueing from Roddy Piper and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 8 to Jerry Swirlz beating up Teal Piper. So that's great. I appreciate you doing that for me, good sir. She was here tonight, actually, as a matter of fact.
Did you tell her you were coming on here?
We didn't get a chance to really talk. I mean, I kind of showed up a little bit late. Didn't really have the time to get to talk to her really. So we were just kind of. But don't worry. I mean, I'm gonna make sure I message her, and I'm actually going to let her know that hey, this guy Greg, I think you talked to him before. I'm not sure if he's a great guy, wonderful guy. So.
Oh yeah, she's familiar with me.
I believe it. I wouldn't put it past her for a second.
Yeah. You know what? I understand that you were so Jerry serious that you decided to come on this podcast.
Oh, listen, Jerry's serious. Gosh, that is a name I have not heard in a long time. I'm probably never going to live that down. No, I was very serious about being on this podcast after I got the call that you discovered me. So I really do appreciate. I do appreciate that a lot. Wow, you brought up open up a can of worms for a second, brother.
You know what? I actually don't. I have my television set up to watch Blu-rays. I don't have television, but I have been so kind of zoned out on what WWE has been doing outside AJ Styles and Charlotte Flair that I started checking. I love them. But so I like old school wrestling from the 70s and 80s, you know. To me, Bruno Sammartino all the way. You know, but I started checking out a lot of the indies, and I think it was through Teal Piper I started doing that. And I find I'm much more entertained by watching, you know, the likes of yourself, or Christy Jane was somebody I discovered really like, and other people like that. And I'm like, I'm enjoying this. And by the way, I don't know if you could see this, but I have a whole big bag of LJN wrestlers.
That is awesome. Wow. That outbeats my old wrestling collection I had. I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era. My dad, when we first got into wrestling, my dad was the one that got me into it, as a matter of fact. I remember the first thing that came to my mind was these action figures. Like, he started to slowly but surely. My first action figure set was, you probably won't remember this. It was not a Deluxe Aggression. It was I can't remember the name of it, but it had, remember when Billy Gunn returned in 2003 and he had Tori Wilson by his side? It was that action figure set. I love
Tori Wilson. Did you see the video I sent you on Teal Piper?
Yes, I did. That was amazing.
The Doubtfire Face Challenge. Tori Wilson did one too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
I got to get Tori on here because suicide and depression is something I advocate on here. And I can't believe how many people have wouldn't do the challenge.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you would be amazed at the people that I know. I mean, just talking about in the business alone, like that I have seen from all walks. I mean, I had freaking Sabu in here of all people. Like his story, the one thing that I learned from the seminar, and I guess I can say this now, is you think with your mind, you don't think with your mouth. You don't say something you're going to regret that is going to cost you before it comes in your mind and it's created. I believe that everybody on this earth has one life and you want to utilize it to your
Yep.
advantage. So there's without a
By the way, we got to thank the makeup person on you. I mean, I mean, you say you were in a seminar, but Sabu beat you up, didn't he?
No, you know, actually,
He beat you up.
He
He
did a
beat you
little bit.
up.
No, no. Well, we did toss a chair. We did toss a chair. We were teaching someone how to throw a chair in here. Actually, you know, the iconic how Bill Alfonso used to throw the chair into Sabu. We were teaching someone on how to do that tonight. So we got something out of the seminar. No, it was a great seminar. We learned, we just asked a lot of questions. We talked about his upbringing in ECW, or his upbringing in Japan, how his uncle trained him, the Sheik. You can't say the original Sheik. That's what I found out, actually, as a matter of fact. You don't say the original Sheik in front of Sabu. I learned that lesson. So
Well,
I asked him a question about how the Sheik was such a polarizing figure in the business and how he drew so much attention to a crowd. I slipped up and said the original Sheik. Apparently, you're not supposed to say original Sheik when you're in front of Sabu. He got mad. He pointed his finger at me and said, ever call me the original Sheik. It's just the Sheik, regardless. Yes, sir. No problem.
could you imagine Sabu back in the day wrestling this guy?
Oh, who is that? Oh, that is a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow. You talk about
Could
two
you
different,
imagine those two?
I mean, you talk about different styles nonetheless. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty, yeah, I could fathom that, literally. It's like wrestling, it's think of a bull trying to wrestle a cow, essentially. Like the cow milks milk for a reason. You know, we drink that milk. Then there's a bull that has the horns. Those horns are sharp. We're trying to avoid those horns. So, I mean, if there's a better thing that I could compare that to, no, I think I believe that would be a really awesome match. I think one of the inspirations for me in wrestling, as a matter of fact, I'll say this to the day I die, is Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is one of my inspirational wrestlers of the business. I guess, and if I wanted to go back,
Is that where you get the suck my ass thing from?
um, well, believe it or not, this was actually made up by one of my mentors, my trainers, Jason. I don't know if you know him. I mentioned him to you. His name is Jason Dugan. He's the leader and the popular one, and he is the owner, the ARW heavyweight champion. He has traveled all over the world, wrestled the likes of Pope Elijah Burke, Les Briscoe. I'm giving him a lot of clout right now as we speak, because he is my mentor, and I want to say nothing but good graces to the guy. And I am trying to work my way into getting into Brothers in Arms as we speak. I mean, it's been kind of a rough start, but I did get the W in Alabama. I did get a W in Alabama in the 3-on-2 handicap match over at Spartan Wrestling, which that match should air sometime soon. It's funny how you try to balance out these different gimmicks, you know, because I know as you see the Jerry Swift that you're talking to right now, the Golden Girls favorite. I am also known as the Coin Collector, DZR, which is my alter ego. White guy tried to be thug and bug, and wants to, you know, be out there kind of, you know, swagging and throwing out, collecting coins off the streets, having that sock full of quarters, swinging it around, knocking people out left and right, collecting teeth in the meantime. Oh, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you know what I'm trying to get at, though.
Yeah, I noticed the Golden Girl that we just lost Betty White just 17 days before her 100th birthday. So she wasn't able to do what George Burns did, make it to 100.
Yeah,
But
I'm still shocked over it, to be honest with you. Like, I think this will be there's a lot of deaths that have and very polarizing, but I think this one just sticks a nail to me just for the simple fact that I grew up around this woman. I mean, aside from Golden Girls, like I remember watching her on Hot in Cleveland. I remember her from a lot of the movies that she did from way back in the day. And there's this documentary that I have yet to watch of her. There's also another documentary that just recently came out from the National Geographic on Disney Plus that I have yet to watch. Like this, her kindness was such a big deal to people all over the world, and to see her change a lot of people to be the same person. Now we're almost in here 5, 6 decades, maybe even longer, maybe more decades. I don't know. I'm horrible at math, but all I'm saying is that woman never changed who she was, and that is why she's an inspiration to me in wrestling. Like I could speak about wrestling, about all the wrestlers. Like I could say Billy Gunn, I could say Jeff Hardy, I could say Colt Cabana, CM Punk, whatever. I could talk about wrestlers, but like to make the character, you also have to look at people in television. You have to look at people in movies. You have to look at other elements that are going to bring something to the table. I think for me, Betty White is on that list for sure, just because of her kindness and how she was to people. Mark Wahlberg is another favorite actor of mine. Will Ferrell as well, not just because of the hair, which is weird.
Well,
People call me Will Ferrell.
You must have loved the other guys.
Yes, that was such a, oh my God.
Was that awesome or what?
I watched that movie with my girlfriend at the time. And I kept laughing my ass off. Like my favorite scene is is Will Ferrell's wife, how his wife's hot in the movie. She's gorgeous.
Yep.
Beautiful. I don't know if I can curse or not, but she's
Go ahead.
She's fucking beautiful. She is just drop dead gorgeous. And yet he doesn't acknowledge her, which is the punchline in that whole movie. And it's amazing. I mean, that scene alone, and believe it or not, the scene with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson, where they're on top of this tall building, whatever, and they're trying to catch the bad guys.
Here's my story behind that. I saw this movie in the theater. And here's the funny thing. We've seen so many action movies where these action celebrity stars do these horrendous things and survive, but nobody else would. So we're watching this, and then you're saying, aim for the bushes, aim for the bushes, and they jump, and we're sitting there thinking, yeah, they're jumping, splat. And it cuts to a funeral, and you slap your palm to your hand to your head, like, of course they're gonna die.
Of course, how you can't physically, a human being cannot aim that direction. The only way they're going to land is on the ground, and it's not going to be pretty unless you have a parachute. No, like that is mathematic. I don't know if it's mathematically, but that is just.
But we're expecting them to be okay. That's
that is not going to defy themselves on that one. Like we're expecting them to be the badasses, but like, come on, we know.
I got
such. Or not, this is so weird to me. I don't know why, but I am so bipolar for Rob Riggle. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. I think because I like him for his military background and his acting work so great. And he does it so well. But he is such an asshole in the movies, and he does it so well. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. I'm conflicted. I'm eating chicken noodle soup over chicken shit salad. Like it's hard to. I love it. I fucking love it. But it's so easy to hate the guy. I'm not saying I hate Robert personally. I'm just saying like in his movie work, he's always played that same role, and I think that's one of the things. Like in wrestling, you have a certain role that you bring to the table. You know, many guys want to believe. Like you talked about Jerry Sirius. You talked about how you brought that up, and there was a time when I was doing Jerry Swirlz, and I was doing not everything wrong, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind. If that makes any sense. Like for example, I was trying so hard to please and do everything that I wanted to do right for all the people that have come before me, and they just told me it was the gimmick that I did. So I just thought to myself, maybe I just need to change it all up and maybe just kind of, try something different. So I got tights. I took away the Golden Girls thing. I wore a sweater, and it just everybody did not want. Nobody liked it. It didn't resonate with the fans. The moment I stepped out that curtain, I wore that black shirt, and those pants. It was done. I thought it was done. I thought it was over with. And then, I talked back to my mentor, Jason Dugan, like, who brought me back down to earth. He was like, hey, motherfucker, you're doing something right. You just need to, fix yourself up and clean yourself up and tone it down for everybody, because there's a way to work different crowds. And this is one of the things that I've also learned. I'm going to say this a lot, is that I've learned in wrestling has saved my life for the better. I was in a time when it was doubtful. I didn't think I could do this. And, I always had to be brought back up to earth and kind of reminded of these things that just keep you here and they don't take away from you. So when I put the Jerry Show's outfit back on, I was like, I think this is gonna be hard to get over, and but the moment I stepped out, everybody cheered for me. I mean, it wasn't easy getting on that road back up and getting everybody to like me again, but I got there. I did everything that I could, and I'm proud to say that it has gotten me this far to even doing your interview right now.
Yeah.
To doing all the interviews that I've done prior. I mean, like, you've been doing this for a long time, and to say that the match with Teal Piper, like, I can't even thank Teal enough for that either. Like, for her to get me on the map as well. Like, I think there's a lot of people. I probably sound like I'm rambling right now, but like,
No, that's okay.
Happy. I'm
well,
just
remember
happy.
what this guy said. You know who this is?
Is that Terry Funk?
That is Terry Funk.
Ah, yes.
Terry Funk said, you might not believe in wrestling, but you sure as hell will believe in me. And he wrestled Sabu in that barbed wire match. And I'm going to tell you, they had to cut those two free.
Yes. It's funny. Terry Funk, actually, we were talking about him in the seminar as well.
Yep.
Sabu. And this will all air on Fight, and there is a lot of stuff that is going to air on Fight too. I'm trying not to say too much, but I will say Terry Funk was a big role in Sabu's life. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was watching an interview with Ted DiBiase, and how, when he got offered a job in WWE, Terry Funk was the one that told him to go take the job. Because originally Vince McMahon pitched him the idea for Ted DiBiase of a gimmick, but he wasn't going to tell him what it was unless he signed the contract. And, Tech kept asking him, and Vince was like, unless you sign the contract, you have to, I'll tell you what it is, And, he asked Terry Funk, who was his mentor in the business, and Terry Funk basically told him, you need to pack your bags and not turn around right now, because you never know when an opportunity is going to come like that again. So, that's one of those things you just jump on and you take.
Well, I was wondering, if we could get a little bit of your background and how you got into wrestling. I know you mentioned Billy Gunn, but what was your earliest memories of wrestling? What made you want to do this?
What made me want to do, well, it's two different things, believe it or not. What got me into wrestling, my dad and I, it was late 2003, early 2004, I want to say. This is, I got into wrestling. My dad would record DVR, Raw and SmackDown every night. I mean, like, I grew up on guys like Billy Gunn. I grew up on guys like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, when they were feuding at the time. I grew up on Randy Orton, but basically the whole evolution. John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle. Like, I could just go on and write a book about them. Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho. And it was just, those were like the top guys that I've never lived out with in my life. And what got me into the business, I was about to graduate high school my senior year, and there was stuff that I wanted to do, or I felt like I wanted to do, but at the same time, I was still doubting myself. And I think that if anybody's watching this, like, anybody can take this as a grain of salt or take this for them as the best advice. Like, you will only learn so much in your early 20s than you are going to learn in your 30s. Like, you're only going to learn so much to the point where you're figuring out who you are, kind of thing. And, when I did graduate high school, I was still undecided about my future. I wanted to do, maybe I was thinking college, military, cooking classes, just all these different things. And wrestling was just the only light in my head that would just go off. And I remember one day I went to, believe it or not, Atomic Wrestling was the early years of it, when it was just known as Atomic Wrestling Entertainment. Main event was a match with Adam Rose and a couple other guys, and it was cool. And I came back to the next show and I seen Shannon Moore, who's one of my actually, believe it or not, become a mentor to me in the wrestling business, and Chico Adams, which you might want to look up his stuff too. He's an independent wrestler you want to check out. And after that match, I was like, shoot, I want to do this. Like, that match was the one. I'm not bullshitting you when I say that was the match that was like, people could say that Okada and Kenny Omega, or freaking John Cena versus JBL, whatever matches you want to say that it was, like these 5-star matches. No, it was that match, that little match in front of maybe 100 people at the time. That's what got me into the business. I'm not bullshitting on that. Like, that's what made me was like, I got to figure out what to do. And someone told me there's a wrestling school in Orlando, you should go check it out. So I went over to Pro Wrestling 2.0. I learned under the guidance of Alex the Pug Portel. From there, it was just kind of up and up. And then throughout the years, school would go through different coaches and stuff, like Cedric Alexander. He was at the school at the time. Ace Steele, or Coach Ace Steele, let me rephrase that, I'm sorry, who trained CM Punk. There was a lot of listed guys, Deanna Perrazio. I mean, I could go on, and then just little by little, everybody that came to that school. And even when the pandemic first broke out, WXW classes started coming in. So I was able to learn under the guidance of Alpha the Wild Samoan. After that,
oh yeah, the Samoans, the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika. Yeah,
I'm doing a show tomorrow called WXW Redline in Mineola, Florida, at the Wild Samoans Center. So if anybody that's watching that interview is this interview right now in Canada or in the States, you should definitely watch some WXW content if you have the chance. You even watch. I have a tag team down there called the Golden Swirlz, which is the shirt I'm wearing right now, but it is only me and not my tag team partner.
Wouldn't it have been great if you could do back in time, do a Survivor Series match where your 4 partners were the Golden Girls?
Oh, we would be over within the moment we hit the curtain in a heartbeat. We would have nothing but cheese. I would have to be in a gold dress. I would have to wear a wig. I would have to bring out cheesesteak. I would have to talk about Sicily in 1912. I would have to bring the whole shebang. We would have to. We might even get sued over producing the music in that time. Maybe, who knows? I mean, if it's them alive and in their prime and stuff, then I don't know. I would suppose so, but no. That's really where it all started for me as a wrestler. Like the growing pains of it, and over time now, being at the Atomic Catchworks Wrestling Academy, learning under guys like Moose, the current Impact World Champion, learning from Anthony Green, who was just recently released from WWE. We also have Austin Aries coming in soon at some point in time, so he'll be definitely coming to school as well. But yeah, it's really a different. You look at the book. The book from chapter 1 to chapter now, and it's completely evolved. And I'm just very blessed and fortunate enough to be in the position I'm in right now, because this is all blessed. Like, this could all be taken away tomorrow. Like, internally, I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and you talking about the Doubtfire challenge. I guess my own little challenge for you, and this is not even just like a challenge. I think everybody should do this. Is just stay out of trouble and don't. My dad taught me one thing, and that was don't look for trouble and don't let trouble come and find you, period. Mm-hmm. Like, that is just one of the best challenges I give to anybody right now, because it will come find you when you least expect it, and it's going to be in you in that time. So what you can do, man, yourself, don't do all the right things. Do everything that you can possibly do that can keep you out of trouble, no matter what it is, an activity, watching a TV show, playing video games, going outside and exercising, whatever it is, just don't do stupid shit, period.
What if the scenario, you and the 4 Golden Girls versus Doink the Clown and 4 Doinks? Do you guys think you win? You think you win?
I mean, are we talking like Doink Matt Osborne, or are we talking about the
Doink
happy-go-lucky
Matt
guy?
Osborne. Why not?
Ah, but that means Dink wouldn't be around by that point, so it'd have to be Doink. It would be different Doinks by that point, all in
Yeah,
different.
I
Actually,
don't
I
know.
feel like ah, I mean,
I think the Golden Girls. I don't know. I think you have some powerhouses there.
I think we do too. I mean, Doink will have a whoopee cushion here or there. He'll have rubber chickens and stuff. But I got my ass, man. That's the money. That is the money right there. The girls can just throw the cheesecakes, but when that cheesecake gets thrown and I come flying in with that ass, it's over. Done.
Well, there's only one way you know that you've made it in wrestling. There's only one way. And I said this to Damos as well. There's only one way. You have to be humbled by this guy. You have to be humbled by the Iron Sheik. He's got to put you in the camel clutch and make you humble.
Don't be jabroni. If you want to smoke crack along with the chic, baby. Listen, USA, Atui, Hulk Hogan, I mean, without Sheik, there'd be no Hulkamania. Period. I met Iron Sheik one time. He's a cool guy. A lot shorter. A lot
I
shorter.
got a lot of these at a con and a flea market, and I just grabbed them up like, I mean, oh my goodness.
What's your most prized treasure? Because I have my prized treasure in my two back. What's your most prized possession out of the
Wrestling?
Yeah, in that pack right there. What you got?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
I'm not even at my house right now, and I'll have to send you a picture of it when I get home.
I know I got a Bruno.
I
I like Bruno.
I love Bruno.
Yeah. If you go on random treasures on Etsy, they do custom
Really?
LJNs. I got that done.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Mr. Perfect.
I know there's someone you should message for custom LJNs. He's done them, and I've watched him on Facebook. You ever heard of Sin Bodhi? He was known as Kazarni in WWE. I don't know if that name rings a bell, but he was on SmackDown for a little bit, and he wrestled MVP. He had vignettes of like being at the carnival and whatever, and saying that he was talking to Carney pretty much, and he makes custom LJN figures. Like he made a custom LJN Seth Rollins, like in the getup that he is in now. It looks legit, like it's cool. Jake Roberts. So that's the classic one. That's a real nice one.
My favorite move. I love his version of the DDT.
Have you watched his Resurrection?
Yeah.
His documentary.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my top 5 favorite documentaries I've ever watched.
Yeah.
That story alone, like, warmed my heart. Just the simple fact that he was one of the most polarized, but maybe not polarizing, but more influential characters of our business. That would be. Is that Dory Funk Jr. or is that Wahoo McDaniel?
Nope.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
This is Outback Jack.
Outback Jack? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This is a rare. This is the only figure I think they ever had of him.
Really?
I was telling Teal when I interviewed her, I did a tribute to her dad, and I had her and Colt on. And I was telling them that my introductory to wrestling was one day in class, they had stickers and chip bags. I got to show off this one, of course.
You can never go wrong with a Macho Man LJN.
No. Macho Man Savage, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm trying to think here, too. If he's showing up here, because I had another one I was going to stick on here. He's probably hiding.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's probably hiding.
I don't want to be buried, brother.
Oh, there we go.
Who you got? George the Animal Steel. That's a good one. Nice.
I've got a bunch of these, you know.
I've only had
including this.
Yes.
Actually, I should show you what I got for Christmas. My brother got me this for Christmas. Just give me half a second.
Not a problem. Take your time.
brother got this for me for Christmas.
Oh, I've seen that one. I've
Yeah.
seen that iView actually a couple of times. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That was
Now,
one of the people. Oh, good.
well, what I was going to say, they used to have was just before WrestleMania 3, which for me, I think it's the greatest WrestleMania was number 3. I love WrestleMania 3. But I remember they had a sticker of Jake the Snake Roberts, this person in math class. And I love snakes. I've always loved snakes. And they told me the story. This guy puts a snake on his opponents, and I was like, I gotta see this, And my older brother was getting all these stickers and chip bags as well. And I was seeing all these strange characters on these stickers. I mean, apart from Jake the Snake, you have people like Kamala, Georgie Animal Steel, Outback Jack, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Randy Macho Man Savage, King Kong Bundy, Hillbilly Jim.
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant. You can't forget about good old Andre.
Andre was not on one of the stickers, strangely enough.
Really?
I never got that.
Huh.
And you'd think he would be, considering he was in the main event of WrestleMania 3.
I was gonna say, well, this was the time he was starting to get on out his way in WWE. He was kind of out the door by that point. Like, I know his body was deteriorating, and it was just, like his. I had his book. Andre the Giant was actually probably one of my personal favorites. Like, one of my favorite matches. Like, if you want to talk about 80s wrestling, even 70s. This match actually always sticks out to me is the Wild Samoans versus Andre the Giant and Jimmy Snuka.
Oh yeah,
the iconic Andre
it.
the Giant had Jimmy Snuka on top of his shoulders, just walking him over. I think on one of the Samoans, and then does the Superfly Splash and lands on him and gets the win. Like, that's a personal favorite match of mine to watch. Like, of all time, like that is one of my all-time favorites. Like, just the tag team psychology, the work that they show, just how the Samoans would cut the ring in half. It just everything alone about that match is probably one of my personal favorites, like of all time. Like, I would say of top 5, if I had a top 5 or maybe top 10, that would be up there. That would be up there for sure.
Well, to me, my 2 personal favorite matches I've seen Andre in were both in the 70s. One was against Harley Race, and Harley Race body slammed him. I know
that's
Vince.
Right.
Vince likes to make it sound like Hulk Hogan was the first.
No, Harley Race was the first one. Yeah, Harley Race was the first one. PWI wrote about it in the magazine, and it was unheard of at the time that Andre was ever slammed, or let alone on his back. So, I mean, to say that the man was like body slammed by freaking Harley Race of all people, I mean, was there any other person maybe other than Hulk Hogan? No. Like, that's just the thing.
Harley Race did it, and Antonio Inoki also did it in the 70s as well.
And Antonio Inoki, I almost forgot about him actually.
Yeah. And the other match I would mention was Andre against, and this was in Japan, against Stan Hansen. That was great.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Andre was big in Japan, that's for sure.
Yep. But I got all these stickers in the chip bags, and a lot of them right in this bag here.
Well, you should know I am a sticker collector. So if you ever feel the need to send me stickers or anything like that.
I actually don't have those. That was when I was young.
You had me so excited. You haven't really.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I am a sticker collector. I love collecting. My favorite stickers I have involve a lot of Nickelodeon, because I grew up as a Nickelodeon kid. Rugrats was one of my favorites. SpongeBob, Rocko's Modern Life, and just alone, those are some of the top of the notch. I mean, I have stickers of Star Wars. I have stickers of, I believe, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, there was rarely any Yu-Gi-Oh! Stickers, and the 2 that I had were the Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I'll even admit it, as much of a geek as I am, I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards still hanging inside my room as we speak. I just bought a booklet so I can put all my cards in, which I actually have to do at some point in time, hopefully Sunday, because Jerry Schwartz is just busy all the time. Jerry Schwartz does not sleep. I mean, the bag's under my eyes. tell you the story. Not Sabu beating me up earlier, but the bags under my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Uh,
those stickers though got me into watching wrestling, and I watched it over at my uncle's place, and I remember it was just before WrestleMania 3. And I told Teal this and Colt this when I had them on here in tribute to Roddy. The big match that was on that night, I didn't see Jake the Snake that night, but I became a big fan of Roddy Piper that night because the main event on that card was a 6-man tag elimination match. And for the heel team, you had the adorable Adrian Adonis,
yes.
you had King Harley Race, and you had Randy Macho Man Savage. And on the face side, you had the Junkyard Dog, you had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and you had Rowdy Roddy Piper, who obviously was competing with Terry Funk for the most retirements in wrestling.
Well, yeah, that's true. Terry Funk did have the need to retire a lot. I mean, shoot, God bless him.
The match came down to Piper and Savage, and Piper outsmarted and beat the Macho Man and won the match, you know? And I was like, man, I really dig Roddy Piper, you know? And I was so glad that Colt and Teal came on here. I've had Teal on here 3 times, once as a solo and once on here with Demos. And I got this little nugget in the mail from her. She was signing pictures online, and I'm always up to, because when she did the Doubtfire challenge, of course, she does a thing where she's her charity is I guess helping bunnies.
Really interesting.
Yeah. So I got a picture here. I think Teal's gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous. There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that is pretty awesome. I mean, but let me ask you this. How would you feel if I sent you a Jerry Swirlz 8x10 and maybe a 8 Jerry Swirlz raw indie deal card, all signed for free? How would you like that?
I would love that.
I'll make sure I'll hook you up. I'll make sure to hook you up at some point in time, sometime in a week or so. I will accommodate you with some stuff for sure. Since you're showing me that actually just inspired me just now. So that's pretty cool. What does it say on there?
It says to Greg Gilbert, thanks for all of your support. And then a heart, Teal Piper.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. I had a little crush on her ever since I first seen her. I was like, oh my goodness, she's beautiful. Damos is lucky.
Yes, he is. He's a very lucky man.
But I've always been a big Roddy Piper fan, and I often teased her. I said, look, when are we going to get Teal Piper versus Tamina Snuka? When are you going to get the coconut out?
Well, I mean, that's up to Tamina when being in WWE and stuff. So, that could happen. It could eventually happen. Now, what about Natalia? Brett, why not? Why not about that match?
There you go. I never thought about that.
Why not? How about this? Why don't you get Jerry Swirlz against Teal Piper and Natalia and Tamina and Wes Briscoe and Tim Zabisco, and then you make me the once generation superstar. How would you like that?
I would like that, but the problem is, though, how banged up are you going to get?
Well, I don't need to get banged up. All I need to do is show everybody this. Well, I can't really show you, but
look
you
at
know
this.
Oh, that is a Navajo. No, that's not Navajo.
I've had her on twice.
What is her name? I forgot.
Let me get her book. Her book is right here, and I can tell you this: she hates Hulk Hogan, she hates Vince McMahon, and she hates the Fabulous Moolah.
I've heard. Oh wait, I think I know who you're talking about. She was on Dark Side of the Ring. I heard about her. Her career got ended shortly, if I'm not mistaken.
There she is with Velvet McIntyre, Princess Victoria.
Oh wow, yes, that's what her name was, Princess Victoria. Yeah, I heard about her when watching Fabulous Miller Stark Side of the Ring. I think it sucks what happened. I mean, that was a time obviously before me, and just seeing that alone, it's crazy how the business has changed over the years, and guys like me that are new and young, like it's such a very different time. Like it's crazy, but I mean, I still respect the past. I still want to respect what came before us.
Yeah.
I do absolutely respect that 100%. I believe we need to emulate the past and make this into our own. Just
Well,
me
I
personally.
don't mind paying for your photo. I did pay for this one, so
Oh, you pay for that one?
yep,
All right. We'll talk. We'll talk business. We'll talk business.
yep.
But I will send you a free. All right. As long as you pay. How about this? I will sign for free 2 cards, and just we'll work out an arrangement for an 8 by. We'll work out the arrangement for the 8x10 or something. I will work something out with you. I am working on
Sure.
shirts. T-shirts are coming very soon. Just been kind of hard in the department because of life and work. Enough said on that one. Just kind of slowly but surely getting myself back out there again. Life and work.
Yep. No, I don't mind paying for a picture, but I thought I'd mention that to you because
I appreciate that seriously. But
Teal might bring that up in a promo.
what else has she brought up, or that I brought to her?
She would. I bet you she'd say you had to do it for free because nobody paid for
I mean, all the championships she's won. Oh wait, she hasn't won the title.
Uh-oh, don't go there.
Saying
I know what she would
former
say.
8-time hardcore champion, former rapid fire champion, and the first and only male to win the Atomic Wrestling Women's Champion. You're welcome.
I know what she would say. She
Yeah.
would say the reason she wrestled you is because Deimos couldn't be bothered. I gotta say, the first time I saw you, and this is where I like humor. I love humor. And I watched the first time I saw you was when you were spying on her and Damos at the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
And I
Man, we
just,
almost got kicked out for that, actually, believe it or not. We
oh,
almost
did
got
you?
kicked out of Publix that night. Yeah. Well, I did. So the whole skit. Well, actually, I'll explain that in a little bit. But if you want to keep continuing and talking, go ahead. I will explain. Just there is a situation that happened when that did escalate. Might have got me banned from all the Publixes, maybe. I don't know. But
Uh-oh.
yeah.
What happened? The store manager beat you up, and Damos and then Teal Piper had to make the save.
No, so the skit involved me. I guess when I was, I didn't even realize this when I was walking. If you look at the beginning of the promo, I guess that little by the produce section or whatever, like there's these like candies or like candy vending machines where like you get like a bag way out like a bag of candy or whatever. You make your own little trail mix, put it on the scale, and however much it weighs, that's how much you got to pay for. I guess I didn't realize I was just being me. I ate one of the candies. I turned the nozzle, opened up the candy, and ate it. And then that was just kind of how the promo kind of started. Like when I did that and I slid on the surface, like first I got major rub, and the produce manager was watching me the whole time I did this. So the promo, I mean, we finished it in record time, thank God. Like, I don't know how, but Father Time was on my side that day. So when that happened, he tapped my friend on the shoulder that was recording, and he basically told him there is absolutely to be no recording of Publix on Publix property whatsoever. If you record anymore, you will be kicked out of Publix permanently. And my friend had to do the old school cover up of, no, sir, I was on Facebook Live a few minutes ago. And he already put his phone away by the time the manager came up. So the manager was just like, don't let it happen again. And he walked away. So, yeah, fun times in wrestling, right?
Oh man. And then, of course, you're spying on them out in the parking lot. And I
Oh,
can't
yes.
believe she didn't use a coconut. She threw what, an orange or a grapefruit that
It
bounced
was,
off your
yeah.
head.
Well, we used an orange. She actually threw it at my head, and from that distance, like incredible, incredible. She has an arm. She has an arm. She knows how to use it. I'll give her that.
Yeah, that was my introductory to you. And I was like, I kind of like this guy, in the same way I like, James Ellsworth. There's another guy who did the Doubt for a Challenge, was a James.
I
And
I'll touch base. When I was a referee, I refereed his match one time, and I did get slapped by him once. But that's yeah. So
but I like when humor is played into it. So I watched a bunch. Like, I love the fact that you're able to be a heel and still somehow come up on top. Like, even when you're like, you don't mind even wrestling Hornswoggle. You know?
I mean, that's a story for another time. Look, that was really awesome. No, that was it's just like I said, you have to know your crowds. You have to know what you're working. Like me, I'm typically always the babyface. I'm always the good guy in the situation, but I don't know what it is. It's like I get in these situations where I guess people like me, even when I'm the bad guy, they endear me and they still cheer me on a little bit, even though the boos outweigh the cheers, they still endear me. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do to make it possible. But I make the impossible improbable, I guess you could say.
Well, here's a question. Did you ever think on dealing with Hornswoggle the same way King Kong Bundy dealt with Little Beaver at WrestleMania 3?
No, well, no, actually. It was a lot easier because there wasn't much to that match if you look back at it. I mean, like the thing that got the most reaction was the shtick we did. And
Mhm.
still, we were one of the top three matches from that night. Because, believe it or not, the president of Fight TV, Michael Weber, was there. He did a Secret Santa, and he told the management that that was one of the top three matches for obvious reasons. I mean, it was comedy and it was great. But needless to say, like working Hornswoggle was probably a dream come true to me. Actually, like that was one of the matches that kind of helped get me on the map. Because actually, believe it or not, originally I didn't want to do it. I didn't. Um, I I felt I'm just taking my shoes off right now. I'm gonna set this
Yeah.
up right here. Um, you know, I I was just getting out of this like weird phase in wrestling where it was like I want to be serious, but I want to be funny at the same time. But and then the more I thought about it, I was like, this is Hornswoggle. This is the guy that was technically the last WWE or WCW Cruiserweight Champion. This is the guy that was in one of the most polarizing storylines in WWE. I liked this guy. So then I thought to myself, why the fuck not? Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let me chase around a midget. Let me get beat up by Hornswoggle. Let's see how far this can go. And sure enough, it was one of the top three matches of that night. So it was just yeah, it was awesome. It was a pleasant experience. And Hornswoggle was nothing but an angel. He was so cool. The match was great. He's looking for a rematch. I know that. He's looking for a rematch later down the line. So
Steel cage.
fans bring the weapons. Fans bring the weapons match. So if you want to bring a weapon, or if any promotion out there that wants to see that match possible,
What if he
not
brings
doing it.
Finley?
Oh, you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that because there was a time, again, as a kid, and this is funny too. I'll share this story. When I first met Finley, I had no background of him whatsoever. I didn't know that he was in WCW. I didn't even know WCW existed until like I got when I graduated. When I was in when I went before I went to middle school, I was in elementary school, and I didn't even know about Finley at the time. I had no prior knowledge. Like when I seen him first wrestle and beat the crap out of Funaki on a random episode of SmackDown, or whatever, like my dad and I just got in this argument, like because we would always play who would win this match, who's gonna go over in this match or whatever. And I remember like getting so pumped up, like I know Funaki's gonna win. I know Funaki's gonna win. I don't care who this guy is. And my dad just yelled, "It's gonna be fucking Finley that night, you little asshole!" And I remember just crying. I cried so hard. And what made it even worse was I had a Funaki action figure. Like I had everybody from the suppression era. I am not ashamed to admit that. Like I grabbed my Funaki action figure and I held it so tight at the TV. I was going like this the whole time with it. And my dad felt so bad. He was like, "It's okay, son. It's okay. I didn't mean to yell at you. It's all right." And he kind of put my Funaki figure up a little bit closer. And I was like, "No, get away from me. Stop that. Fuck you."
We'll talk about your program with Teal. You know,
Oh wow.
I love Teal Piper. I'm a big, huge Roddy Piper fan. When he passed away, that was one of those celebrity deaths that hit me, was Roddy Piper. And the fact that she and Colt came on, I got their book that they did on Roddy, and I got to hear their dynamic together. And I had her on as a solo where I got to ask her why Psycho Sleepover wasn't up for any Academy Awards.
Oh
That's a
well,
movie
yeah.
she was.
Or wasn't They Live nominated for the Academy Awards? I felt like
No,
that
but I
was.
love that film.
I heard that. Yeah, I was gonna say that was a movie that's on my list of movies I have yet to watch in respect for that generation. I've yet to watch that one myself. So I know Piper was a great actor in movies
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So actually he was a great singer too. I don't know if you
Certainly a
ever
better
listened
actor
to
than Hulk Hogan, that's for sure. Yeah.
oh boy, do I feel like watching Mr. Nanny and
Holy cow.
Suburban Commando tonight. That's for sure.
But I mean,
Christ,
then
I was frozen today.
I had her and Damos on together, you know. Yeah. That interview went really well, except for the fact that I told them I did not like Shawn Michaels.
Why don't you like Shawn Michaels?
Because when the Montreal screw job happened, he took the Canadian flag, rubbed it on his crotch, stomped on it, spit on it, blew his nose on it. If Bret Hart had done that to the American flag, they've been calling for his head. And I think that was heat that went a little. I mean, even Princess Victoria said this to me. She said that was what you call cheap heat, you know. Um, I wasn't too thrilled with Shawn doing that.
Yeah.
I think Vince should have fired Shawn and kept Bret, but nonetheless, I was never a fan of that. And I had brought up the fact that um, outside the ring, Shawn always got his ass handed to him, whether it be Bret Hart tearing his hair out or.
Yeah.
But there's always the story about the Marine that beat his ass, and Daimo says several Marines. And it's like, no, it was just one. The only one that the people that are saying it's several are people in wrestling. Jim Cornette said it's been one. Several other people said it's been one. Now, if it was now Haku beat up a Marine, bit his nose or
How
ear
could be
off
a
or
multiple
something.
people? That's the thing.
But Shawn Michaels, no, I think it was just one Marine. I don't think Damos liked me saying that, but it's like I think Shawn's cleaned himself up now, I guess. But I know back in the day with the Click, he and Triple
Oh
H
yeah,
should have
there
been
were so much
fired.
backstage
Yep.
politicking and stuff like that. I mean, like at that time, nobody really knew what was going on. I mean, it was about the guy, the five. It was all about the Click. I mean, I'm a fan of all of them individually for what they've done in the business. I'll be honest to say that, like Shawn Michaels and Triple H, I didn't even know DX was a thing when I was growing up at the time, and I knew about I just loved their rivalry alone, like storytelling. It was just phenomenal. Those are some of my personal favorite matches. The one that sticks out the most, triple threat from WrestleMania 20 with Shawn,
Oh,
Triple H,
that was
and Chris
great.
Benoit.
Chris
That was one of
Benoit,
my
yeah.
favorites. I think that was a well-deserved moment for a guy like Chris Benoit. I mean, it sucks what it is a damn shame for what happened and what he's done. And uh, for what he did was absolutely wrong, and it doesn't justify what he did in his career. However, it is just something that just cannot be promoted in the modern day world. And for a fellow Canadian, obviously, it sucks. It really, really sucks, because he was somebody that influenced my life for being a wrestler and stuff like that. So, I mean, I just actually, I don't mean to cut this interview short. I was just told by the manager of the facility that they're about to leave soon. So I got to start getting dressed and getting ready. I really enjoyed this interview, Greg. I do want to talk to you a little bit more as soon as possible, for sure. If there's any final question you want to ask me, please shoot. I've got a
Talk
few minutes.
about your match with Teal.
Oh, my match with Teal. Wow.
Where she beat you.
Well, I mean, I beat her, but I beat Teal Piper. No, it was just, I think that was just a naturally organic feud. It just happened out of nowhere. And Teal kind of just started the online bantering, and I just kind of followed through with it, because I know how to talk. And
You
she
do.
She damn sure knows how to talk. So it was just kind of hand in hand. And I can safely say and resoundingly say that I am her first individual singles match alone, without she's always done mixed tag, she's always been a manager, but to say that I'm on the list of people that her first one-on-one match, that's something to say. That's something that should not be taken lightly. I think
She
that's
slammed
really cool.
you too.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But guess what? I hit her with an umbrella. That umbrella kind of went south, but that's okay.
I like the fact you get to work with her, and I've gotten a few cameos from her, and I love that she did the Doubtfire face challenge too. Yeah,
Of course.
you should do one of those.
Oh, I definitely will.
Do one with Teal. I've been dying to get her to do another one. But nominate 3 people in the wrestling community.
Okay, I'll make sure to do that. I will.
Yeah.
I'll get a rough draft on that for sure. I think I already have a couple people in mind to do the Doubtfire challenge.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been wonderful having you come on here. I've been checking out your matches, especially with Vertigo. I watched that one the other night.
That is one of my favorite matches.
Yeah.
He's actually one of my trainers. I can resoundingly say that he's been one of the people that had a hand in helping me out, because before he taught me he taught me how to fight back, basically. Like, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be the evolved person that I am today. Like, he helped me. It's ironic. He helped me get serious, the Jerry serious, and then he also, in a way, made me realize who I am doesn't need to be changed. Even when I did change my persona for a little while, like, I was happy to have had that match. I'm just gonna flat out say it. That Tap or Die match is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't change who you are. You're great on the mic. I love the humorous disposition to you. That's what made me want to have you on here. I love your sense of humor, man. And we got to do a special shout out, because Teal Piper kind of introduced me to you, really, what comes down to it. So,
a special shout out taken, and thanks very much. To anybody that's watching this interview right now, please go check out this man, Greg Gilbert's interviews. He's interviewed Teal Piper. He's interviewed the legendary Colt Cabana, one of my personal favorite wrestlers, by the way. I definitely recommend watching this man's video. And if you also got a chance, check him out on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. You don't mind me plugging my stuff, sir?
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Please, if you want to follow me on Facebook, you can follow me at Jerry Swirlz. I have a fan page, and I also have a Facebook friend request I will take certain requests from. I also have a Twitter that I kind of use and kind of have to start using. Jerry_Swirlz69. Instagram, Jerry_Swirlz98. If you want to follow my TikTok videos, Jerry_Swirlz6998. If you want to also get a glimpse of what else I got? Oh, my YouTube channel. I got a YouTube channel. If you want to watch some of my videos on YouTube, I'm trying to get this thing working. It's kind of hard to do it sometimes, just being busy all the time and stuff. Sorry, there's background noise going on right now. I think it's the gym manager trying to tell me that I got to go now. So anyway, please check out my stuff. Please check out Greg Gilbert's interviews. I appreciate you having me on, sir. I hope to be back sooner rather than later.
You
It's
know
been an
what?
honor.
It's been an honor for me too. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch
No,
about the picture
thank
thing.
you for being a friend.
Absolutely, absolutely. Golden Girls forever. That and
Very
Married with
good.
Children.
Oh, that's a good show too. Don't knock that. That's actually all right. The only show I
Yeah.
don't think. Yeah, I'll find one. Anyway, y'all have a good one.
God bless you. Thank you so much for the honor.
It's been a pleasure. The honor's been all mine.
You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.